Yo, what's going on, people? On today's story, it's about a child star who would grow up to make headlines, but not for his acting. Now, before getting to that story, if you're an aficionado for the dark and unexplainable, you tuned in to the right channel. We upload every week, and if that's right up your alley, beat the like button like a drummer does at a rock concert. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications to get our weekly uploads. Now, let's get to it. This story begins with Tom and Jackie Hawks. They met in 1986, and after letting their love blossom, they would get married in 1989. Now, Tom had 2 kids from a previous marriage, and because Jackie was so caring and affectionate to Tom's kids, they would refer to her as their mother. Now, when Jackie was younger, due to an accident, she was unable to have kids of her own. So being a mother to Tom's kids really meant the world to her. Now, fast forward to 2002. After the kids were grown and out of the house, Tom and Jackie decided to sell their house, and with the profit they made from that and money they saved throughout the years, decided to purchase a yacht, which they named the Well Deserved. Soon after that, they completely moved on to the boat, and from 2002 to 2004, they were living their best life as they navigated throughout the coast of California and Mexico, enjoying nightfalls, from fishing to eating good to sharing spirits. They really took pleasure in their retirement. Now in 2004, they received news from their son that his wife was pregnant and they were going to give birth to their first grandchild. Now Tom and Jackie were ecstatic with joy, and at that moment they decided that they were going to sell their yacht and they were going to buy a house to be closer to their son and future grandchild. Tom and Jackie would put the yacht for sale by placing an ad in November of 2004. That's when Skylar De Leon and his wife found the ad for the yacht priced in the high $400,000 range. Now, Skylar De Leon made contact with Tom and Jackie and told them that he definitely loved the boat and will be purchasing the boat in the next couple of days by finalizing it. Now, Tom and Jackie were excited to hear the news, so they reached out to their 2 sons to let them know that they'll be finalizing the deal in the next couple of days, and that once the deal was complete, that they'll make contact with them. Now, days go by, and Tom and Jackie have not reached out to their sons, so their sons are not trying to get in contact with them. Now, Tom and Jackie always kept in contact with their family, so it wasn't like them to not be in contact with them. Next, when Tom's brother heard no one had communicated with Tom or Jackie, he and a friend quickly drove to the docks in Newport Beach, California, where the yacht was docked, to see if the couple was on the boat and not finished with the deal yet and everything was fine. Tom's brother and his friend walked up to the yacht, and from their view it did not seem occupied. As they examined the yacht, some of the lines were thrown over the boat and the motor was down. They also noticed that some of the control panels did not have covers over them, all the things that Tom wouldn't have done. So they figured they must have sold the boat, because Tom and Jackie wouldn't have left it in this manner. Tom's brother then leaves his card with a note written on it asking to speak with the buyers because Tom and Jackie have gone missing, and to please call him. A little after leaving, Tom's brother gets a call from Jennifer De Leon. She tells him she got his note and that she and her husband purchased the yacht, but were looking for them as well because they didn't know how to use certain equipment on the yacht and needed them to show them how to use it. She also said that they left some personal possessions on the boat and that they wanted to give them back to them. Tom's brother then asked, "When was the last time you saw them?" Jennifer would respond that the last time they saw them was when they gave them the money and finished the deal, and that they drove off. Tom's brother would then ask if she knew where they went. Jennifer would respond, "No," but they did mention that they wanted to buy a house to be close to their son that was going to have a baby. Tom's brother would then go on to say, if you do get in contact with them, to please let him know. Jennifer agrees and says you do the same if you get in touch with them before I do. Tom's brother then remembers, Jackie hired a woman by the name of Patricia that would take care of their finances for them while they were out at sea. She would pay their taxes and any other bills needed when they were gone. Tom's brother contacted Patricia and asked if she had heard from Tom or Jackie and if they had made any large deposits into their accounts because they had just sold their yacht in the high $400,000 range. Patricia would check and tell Tom's brother that there has not been any deposits. Tom's brother then reported Tom and Jackie missing to the Newport Beach Police Department. The police would go on and investigate the new buyers of the yacht, which were the De Leons. And come to find out, the 25-year-old husband, Skyler De Leon, had a conviction of armed robbery, which made him a prime suspect. And because they were the last people to see the Hawks. Next, the detectives go down to the yacht to see if they can find any clues of foul play. And while a detective is looking around the boat, he thinks he sees a bloodstained print on the inside of the boat. So they immediately get a search warrant and pursue any evidence left behind. And after further investigation, it turns out that the bloodstained print was just some corrosion and nothing else was found on the boat to bring them any closer to Tom and Jackie. The police went on to call Skyler down to the police station to explain his side of the story about the last interaction he had with the Hawks. Skyler would go on to say that he saw the ad for the yacht and contacted Tom Hanks and that they linked up and took it out for a sea trial. And while on that ride, that he was sold and told him that he wanted to buy it. So on November 15, 2004, Skyler and his wife, their baby, a notary, and a friend of Skyler met in the parking lot at the docks. And when the Hawks pulled up, the De Leons gave them a briefcase full of money for the yacht. Next, the notary gives the paperwork to the Hawks for them to sign the yacht over to the De Leons. The Hawks would then take the briefcase full of money and drive away in their Honda. When the police questioned Skyler on how he was able to get all that money to purchase the yacht, Skyler would say that back in the 90s, he was a child star on the hit show The Power Rangers. And from that, he was able to save a lot of money. Now, while explaining this story, he supposedly comes clean and says to the police, to tell you the truth, the real way I got the cash was not from being a child star, but in reality, I stole the money. He would come out to say that the armed robbery he was convicted of and sent to prison for was because he was stealing from a drug dealer. And before he started doing time, he hid the money he had stolen, so when he got out of prison, he went back to his stash pot and retrieved the cash. Now, because the cash was dirty money, he needed to find a way to clean it. So in his mind, he figured by buying the yacht, he would be able to clean his money. The police knew that Skyler had just incriminated himself on money laundering, but because he was being cooperative to the police, they didn't charge him with money laundering. The police would then go on to interview the notary, Skyler's friend, and his wife Jennifer. As the police interview all three of them, the police would ask each of them what was the last contact with Tom and Jackie like. All three will respond with the same story, that Tom and Jackie took the money, signed the paperwork, and drove away. The only difference in their story was that Skyler made it seem like Tom was scared and worried about having all that cash on him. But the notary would say that Tom and Jackie seemed completely normal to her. After the interview, the police felt like there wasn't more they can do, so they went to the news and broadcasted the pictures of Tom and Jackie in their vehicle and asked if anyone with information regarding them to contact the police. Not long after, a couple in Mexico contacted the police and told them that Tom and Jackie's vehicle was across the street from where they lived. Next, the authorities rushed to the location and knocked on the door, hoping to find the Hawks. But the person who answered the door is an older person looking in bewilderment. The police would ask them, whose vehicle is that in the driveway? He goes on to answer that it's his friend's car, Skyler De Leon. At that moment, the police knew Skyler was lying, and to them, because he had told the police that the last time he saw the Hawks, they had drove off with the money. That was an obvious lie because he was the one who gave that car to that person in Mexico. The police went on to use Skyler's self-incrimination of money laundering to arrest him. While detained, the police searched his house and found all sorts of stuff belonging to the Hawks. Now, with all the evidence linking the De Leons with the Hawks going missing, Skyler kept claiming his innocence. Even Skylar's wife kept the same story. The police knew better, and they re-interviewed the notary, Kathleen Harris, a woman who has never been in trouble with the law and was successful as a notary. And after many hours, she finally folded and told the truth. She went on to say that she never met Tom and Jackie and was paid by Skylar in cash to backdate the sale documents that were already signed. The cops then brought Skylar's friend Alonzo Machen and pressed him on his last interaction with the Hawks. He tried to maintain his story, but the police advised him that the notary had already came clean and admitted to lying. So they knew he was lying as well. After the police offered Alonzo a deal to reduce his sentence, Alonzo told them what really happened. Alonzo went on to say that he met Skylar while working as a jailer when Skylar was doing time for armed robbery. So when Skylar got out, he maintained his friendship with Skylar and would hang out with him regularly. Now in November 2004, Skylar confides with Alonzo that he is an international hitman and only kills bad people for money and has hits on 2 people. And that if he helps him, he would pay him $1 million. So Alonzo agrees, and on November 15, 2004, Skylar, Alonzo, and a third person named John Kennedy, a swole, intimidating gang member, all show up at the parking lot at the docks to go on a sea trial, but purchasing the yacht was never on the agenda. Now when Tom and Jackie arrived, Tom, from his experience of working as a community corrections officer, felt that the individuals he was dealing with were up to no good and was hesitant of getting on the yacht with the group. Tom would mention many reasons to change the sea trial to another day, but Skylar, noticing Tom's mistrust, quickly thought to call his wife Jennifer, who was nearby, and quickly pulled up. She arrived with her 1-year-old daughter, and when she walked up to the group, the whole vibe changed. Jackie, loving kids so much, embraces the baby and showers it with love. Jackie also felt fond of Jennifer, so Tom noticed that. Jackie felt more comfortable with the situation and decided to go ahead with the sea trial. Next, as the group was making their way on board, Jennifer suddenly mentioned that the baby wasn't well and that she needed to head home and would catch up with them later. At this point, Tom and Jackie let their guard down and decided to go forward with the sea trial and boarded the boat with the 3 individuals. As they headed out to sea with no land in view, Skylar and John would mention to Tom that they had to show him something in the lower levels of the boat. While all 3 were below in the bedroom, Jackie and Alonzo were in the kitchen above. Then all of a sudden, Jackie and Alonzo heard a lot of commotion coming from below. Alonzo will go on to grab Jackie and throw her to the ground. He then quickly handcuffed her hands behind her back. Not long after, Skylar and John would come upstairs to get Jackie and take her downstairs to the bedroom. They would throw Jackie on the bed next to Tom, who was also handcuffed. Jackie would question their actions and plead that all they wanted was to get back to their family. But Skylar didn't care. He would order to tape their eyes and mouths shut. Then he began to pilot the yacht to the deepest part of the sea. As Skylar drove the boat, Alonzo would recall while being in the bedroom with John on how Tom was comforting Jackie by stroking her hands as they were handcuffed. When Skylar reached his destination, he ordered John and Alonzo to bring Tom and Jackie up on deck. When Tom and Jackie got on deck, Skylar forces them to sign sale documents for the yacht as well as a power of attorney to be able to handle their finances. After this, they were both brought to the back of the boat. Skylar then tells Alonzo to bring the anchor and chain from the front of the boat over to Tom and Jackie. The Hawks, assuming the worst, started fighting and pleading for their lives. Tom would kick Skylar in the balls while Jackie begged for them to spare their lives. Tom struggled for a bit, but was eventually subdued. They were then sat back to each other while still being handcuffed. The anchor and the chain was placed next to them. Skylar will go on to attach the end of the chain from the opposite side of the anchor to Tom and Jackie's handcuffs. Skylar then grabbed the anchor and with great might tossed it over the boat. Tom and Jackie would have heard the chain rattling as it went up and over the wood railing as the anchor went deeper into the ocean. It yanked Tom and Jackie to the side of the boat with great force. Alonzo would say that when this occurred, Jackie's head slammed so hard on the side of the boat that a cracking sound was heard aloud. Next, Skylar and John and Alonzo just watched as Tom and Jackie fiercely fought against the side of the boat as the anchor was pulling them overboard. But eventually, Tom and Jackie were gradually pulled over the rail into the sea. Now, Tom and Jackie would have been alive and fully aware of their surroundings as they were being pulled deeper and deeper into the sea. Alonzo told the police that when Skyler noticed Tom and Jackie were out of sight, he screamed with joy and ran to the edge of the boat. He then watched the water with excitement and happiness as the Hawks disappeared into the depths. Skyler then took the boat back to the dock. Now, even though Jennifer was not on the boat when the murders occurred, she was still just as guilty. The attack was her idea because she wanted more money and thought this plan was foul-proof. So when she showed up at the dock with her baby right before the sea trial, she was purposely doing that to lure the Hawks on the boat because she already knew the outcome. During the whole time, Skyler was keeping Jennifer in the loop before, during, and after the murders, even going as far as to asking Jennifer for advice. One of the key facts in this case was a video camera that was found at Skyler's house. It was the video camera the Hawks used while enjoying their travels out at sea. Now, when the police found the video camera, they played the tape inside of it, and at first it was Jackie saying farewell to the boat as she recorded her final moments on it before selling it. The tape quickly cuts to the De Leons enjoying Thanksgiving dinner, where they can be seen with their daughter and family having a wonderful time. Now, this was just days after murdering Tom and Jackie with no remorse. They just took the Hawks' memories and started recording their own. Alonzo will go on to get 20 years in prison for his testimony on the case. Jennifer was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And Skyler and John were both given the death penalty. Tom and Jackie's bodies were never found. And in 2023, while on death row, Skyler received gender-affirming surgery and breast augmentation, which means he got a sex change. He now goes by Skyler Preciosa de Leon. And this wraps up the story of the child star turned court star.